Okay guys, hello from Bigfoot Farms, and here you have the chickens are taking dust baths in the dirt. It's a long story, but they don't like water, so they preen, they get the dust in there, and they'll look really nice. Here's my rooster that always attacks me. He's the king of the palace, I guess. I'm feeding them cornflakes now. This morning I fed them a big bag of mealworms. They love worms from the feed store in West Branch. And then I, of course, always have free choice laying mash here. And clean water over there. Not so clean now because they keep kicking dirt into it, so I have to dump it again. Then I've got a hen in there who's trying to sit on her eggs, but I'm going to take her eggs away in a minute because I don't want them to hatch them out right now. This is a little tour of my updated poultry barn. Okay. Okay. And I'm going to have concrete put right in here, And once I have the concrete in, then I can have the rest of the poultry barn insulated, OSB, and so forth. This is a new pen I don't have. The new pens have ceilings, they have insulation. I don't have anything in that yet. Welcome to our coop. My roost, my rules. And these hens over here are really enjoying their cornflakes. Hello, ladies. And there's my friend Mike, who lives in Harrison, has this job, and he meets people, and he set me up with this Mid-Michigan, I don't know, they distribute food to the poor or something, and they had a whole pallet of cornflakes that had expired. I mean, I give them cornflakes all the time, every day, aside from worms, and aside from mash, and aside from pellets. These black and white ones are called light Brahmins. The funny looking ones that look like eagles are Araucanas. They lay green eggs. There's my one rooster here. And then these are Plymouth Rocks. Barred Plymouth Rocks are really this breed along with Rhode Island Reds, which are on the other, you just saw those, some Rhode Island Reds. It's a very noisy place here, are really the two breeds that founded America. So the original people in the 13 colonies, they would have had Rhode Island Reds and Barred Plymouth Rocks. Those breeds are really American breeds. I don't know where the light Brahmins come from. I really don't know. I like them because they're very hardy. They're very warm. They handle the cold very well. And these Araucanas are from Chile, South America, and also called Easter eggers, green olive egg layers. Now you're wondering, why are the feathers worn off the back of these hens? Well, quick comment about biology here. These roosters, in order to mount the hens, jump on top of them, and they dig their claws in to hold on while they're doing their thing, and it pulls the feathers out, and it's just part of being a chicken, and they mount these hens many times a day. So these roosters are getting it on all day long, and the hens don't seem to be having too much fun with that because they lose their feathers on top. In extreme cases, you could get an infection. You could have to do some injury. But generally speaking, as brutal as that looks, generally speaking, it's going to be fine. See this hen, see how she's losing some hair there? That's where the rooster grabs on as he mounts her. Okay. And this hen in here is an Araucana, again, from Chile. And she's going to lay the green eggs. And there's a green egg right there in that nest. There's 4 eggs over here. A green egg, a brown egg. In other words, she had not laid her egg yet. Okay. And here are the roosts that I built just by using simple cinder blocks. And the beautiful buff-colored chickens are called Buff Orpingtons. And it's a breed that originates from Great Britain. All of the Orpingtons, whether they're buff, white, or brown, are from Great Britain. Again, the Rhode Island, the Barred Rock right here rooster, and these 2 Rhode Island red hens, again, were the 2 breeds that our pioneers and our founding fathers, founding families had in the 13 colonies. They're really Americana. Okay, so this pen is largely light Brahmins with a couple other Araucanas in here. This entire pen is going to be Araucanas because I'm going to get all green eggs over here. There's actually 1 Buff Orpington right here. You see how her back is worn down from the rooster. So I'll get 1 brown egg. And see, there's my roost right there. And there's the cornflakes I just gave them. This rooster is a breed called Silver Lace Sussex or some kind of Sussex. And the Sussex breed comes from Great Britain. And I've never had Sussexes before. You see how beautifully colored he is? And he's a very tame rooster. And I have a couple, although I have Rhode Island Reds over there, I have 2 hens over there that are also silver-laced Sussex or Wyandotte. I don't know. I don't really know. I bought 5 random chicks a year ago that were different, and these are different. So this one is different. This rooster is not a Rhode Island Red, it's not a Plymouth Rock, it's not a Buff Orpington, it's not a light Brahmin, it's just a beautiful rooster, and he's very docile. He never attacks me. See, these hens are all Araucanas. Some people call them Americanas, that's wrong, it's Araucana. They all look different, although they have greenish tint to their legs, and they have these funny-looking beards. They have a tuft of feathers underneath their chin, but they can come in any color whatsoever. When my kids were living at home, they used to call them like the eagles, but they look like eagles, right? And so, look, here you have green eggs, green egg, green egg. There's 2 brown eggs over here, so I wonder who's laying the other brown egg. Well, I'm getting mostly green eggs from this particular pen, okay? Now I'm going to go outside to look at... Damn, he just attacked me. After I just told the whole world you're so docile. Hey, and he attacked me. It doesn't hurt, it's just that he uses his spurs and... So it made a liar out of me. He's not as docile as I've been saying. He's usually very calm and docile. But the roosters want to protect their hens, you know. They have brains the size of a pea. And then here are the chicken runs that I'm in the process of having built. I don't want to cover up those windows. I like lots of light. And the metal strips on the bottom are to keep the neighbor's dog will come up and run against the chicken wire. So that's a protection from dogs and coyotes. And this door opens inward, see? I'm gonna make this smaller, okay? And then the sand is really easy to dig in. Houghton Lake has a lot of just like ancient, it's like an ancient sand dune or something. And see these huge gaps in the bottom? This is totally flush. Ian built this totally flush, but it's just the ground is uneven. But the chickens are gonna scratch it, even it out. And on the outside, I'm gonna have sidewalks because the sidewalks will create an a blockage so that it'll discourage animals from digging underneath the pen if they have to dig through three feet of concrete. Yeah, I'll have sidewalks that are 3 feet wide. And if they get through that, I'll just make the sidewalks wider, right? I am determined not to have my animals killed by the bobcats, the coyotes, the weasels, the raccoons, the skunks. We got everything out here, every kind of predator you can imagine, okay? Now these are gonna be 3 runs, chicken runs. So you can see this one's already partitioned out. Ian and his worker are gonna finish this week. That'll be a door that opens for this side. These are the Arawacanas with the rooster I said is docile until he attacked me a moment ago. And this one is the pen with the light Brahmins. There'll be some chicken wire dividing this. And then this is a little smaller one. I don't know what'll go in this pen right here. I might move the other ones over to this side and put turkeys on the other side of the barn. Maybe some pheasants, maybe some turkeys, you know, just for variety. And the dilemma right now is that snow and ice comes off this roof with great force. Feels like an earthquake. It hits the ground. It's really powerful. So what I'm going to do is have Ian run a piece of metal along that edge just so that the snow and ice will collapse onto a sheet of metal. It'll be easier to see than to explain. And you can see up there that the people, the company that built this pole barn in my house, there are huge gaps in the screws on the roof. Maybe it's hard to see through my phone. Sometimes all the screws are in, the bolts, sometimes they're not. Sometimes there's huge gaps when they ran out and didn't check, or they had a little beer break or something, who knows. But all of the metal on this house, this barn dominium, and on this pole barn has got the most god-awful irregularity in these bolts. So I've actually had pieces of metal come off the house and come off the pole barn. I had to have paid someone, I had to pay Ian to put bolts in again because the builders didn't do the proper job. I mean, entire parts of these panels are missing bolts. They're sort of bolt screws that go in, screws with bolt-looking heads on them. So I got to keep paying someone to keep redoing the job that the builders did not do correctly, and the same lame job that the local township inspector signed off on, because he doesn't really check anything. He just signs off. That's another issue. I'm running for township trustee for this township, and if I get elected, what I'm going to do is make sure that inspector is doing his job, because nobody should be a victim of a reckless building company, right? Anyway, that's a different story for a different day, but I'm giving you an update on the outside pens, right? And this wood is all treated, right? That's why it looks greenish. Okay. And this will be a sidewalk, a really wide sidewalk. I have trails at the back of the property, little roads. This will be a pasture right here. Not sure whether I'll get cows or goats, but I'll have this fenced in eventually. Why are my projects moving so slowly? Folks, it costs a lot of money to have a hobby farm. It's an immense amount of money. The animals themselves do not cost much money. It's the putting up the fences and the barns and the structures. So once again, chickens don't cost much to feed. but building the structures to keep them alive is where the expense is. You can ask any farmer, they'll tell you it's the structures, okay? So anyway, I've talked enough. It poured rain all night and all morning, so it's a little overcast today, but it feels really nice. That was a big bee. It's beautiful out here. It's not cold, it's not warm. It's a perfect temperature. So ciao from the magnificent north.